Welcome back, guys. In today's video, we are going to be building a rear diffuser for the car behind me. So let's get started. So step one is to jack the car up or get it on top of a lift if you have access to one. And you're going to need a bunch of cardboard and a pair of scissors. You're going to cut up the cardboard into the general shape of the diffuser that you want to build, and you're going to test fit it onto your vehicle. And so any sort of tunnels or ramps, anything fins in the diffuser that you want to create it out of cardboard first. This way you can trim it down and get it into the exact shape and size that you want. All right, so let's just take a closer look here at what I'm doing. And so for this particular car, I actually have a universal carbon fiber rear diffuser that I want to incorporate into my aluminum diffuser. And so this is going to take up the center section of this car. But if you were building it from scratch, then of course you would just use the cardboard like I mentioned earlier. And you would start your cardboard template somewhere at the back, bending it towards the front of the car, bending down fins. And so if you're watching this video, you generally would know what a rear diffuser already looks like. And you're shooting for that general concept. And you want to try and pick up mounting points for this thing that are rigid. So parts like the chassis, like you can see back here, I want to mount this to parts that aren't going to flex too much, like the back of this bumper. And so you're going to create your cardboard template and you're going to mark it up with mounting points where you think you might be able to drill into the frame and mount your aluminum rear diffuser. This little template that I have here is actually for this exhaust tunnel section at the back. Now I converted this car to a side exit exhaust, so I no longer have exhaust tips in the way back here. But essentially this tunnel is going to take the place of where the old exhaust tips were going to be, and I'm going to incorporate that into the diffuser that runs along the whole back side of the car. Now on your template, in order to figure out how much you need to bend these fins or other sections of your diffuser for mounting points and that sort of thing, I would pick up one of these little guys. It's basically a protractor in a sense, and you can line it up with edges of your bends and you can figure out exactly the angle. And that's going to help you later on with manufacturing your aluminum fins or tunnels that you make from your cardboard templates. Okay, so now when it comes time to take your cardboard template and transfer it into the aluminum pattern, you have a couple options depending on the tools that you have access to. And for me, I prefer to make professional CAD drawings and then come up with DXF or DWG files to send to my local fabrication shop where they can water jet or laser cut sheets of aluminum, steel, whatever it is that I'm working with into the desired shape. Now you can find free software online to help you with this, you just have to learn how to use it. But if you're not interested in learning how to use those programs, you can bring those shops your cardboard templates and they're going to charge you extra, but they can create the aluminum patterns for you and you'll get nice clean cuts and everything will look very professional. So that's my preferred method. If you have access to other tools like a plasma cutter or something like that, I'd imagine that you could trace out your cardboard template with reasonable accuracy and create nice looking patterns as well, and then just smooth up the edges a little bit later on. One thing to keep in mind before ordering your aluminum though, is that you want to choose the proper grade of aluminum that is suitable for bending. Now in this particular case, the shop actually cut this aluminum out of 6000 series aluminum, which ends up being very brittle along the bend lines and has the potential to crack. You can actually see here, and you guys can learn from my mistake, is that this fin, when I went to bend it, actually cracked right off. So in my pattern, I cut in some bend lines thinking it might be easier for me to bend these pieces up along those bend lines. However, you're gonna need a different grade of aluminum. And so I found out that maybe a 5000 series aluminum is more suitable for bending and you won't end up with cracks. So what I'm gonna have to do now on mine is I'm gonna have to cut along my bend lines and then I'm gonna have to stitch weld this together at the proper angle to achieve my desired shape. So now that I'm done welding up my tunnels, as well as some of my brackets, it's time to figure out how to mount these to the vehicle. And one of my favorite ways of adding mounting points is to use what are called nut certs. And they basically install the same way that rivets do. So you use a very similar tool And you drill your hole into the frame or panel, whatever you're trying to attach to, insert the nutsert and pull it tight with the rivet-like tool. And you'll be able to thread in a fastener into the rivet nut. And that's going to allow us to mount these things to our frame or to whatever other panel that we're trying to attach our rear diffuser panels to. So now from looking under the vehicle, you can see one of the nutserts that I've installed into the frame, and this is going to be one of the mounting points. And so I just drilled a hole in the bottom, used this tool like I mentioned before, installed the nutsert, and now this gives me a point where I can thread in a bolt. And so this is one of the button head cap screws that I plan on using. And you can see it threads in, stays in place, and now I can mount my rear diffuser to the frame. In addition to the rivet nuts, I want to give you guys a few other ideas for mounting hardware. And so in the top left corner of the screen, you can see an L bracket. I mentioned this earlier about using this to mount the diffuser to your chassis, or additionally, you can use this to mount your fins to the diffuser body and achieve sort of a 90-degree angle like those fins typically are mounted to a rear diffuser. At the bottom, you see some splitter rods, and these can be used if you have to create mounts on weird angles, and they're great just the same way that you mount a front splitter to your car. You can mount the rear diffuser to your car in the same way and sort of hang it up from your frame. And on the top right, you'll see what are called rivet studs. And these are very similar to the rivet nuts that I showed you. You can use the same rivet tool to install them. And basically, they are installed into panels or frames, whatever thin pieces of metal or plastic, whatever you want to mount to. And they'll leave you with a stud versus leaving you with a nut. And this is great for you want basically to locate it first and then throw a nut on, instead of the other way around trying to find that rivet nut and you're trying to find a blind hole behind your panel. So these are just some options for you guys to work with. Of course, your options are really unlimited. Just get creative. Okay, so now after installing 3 nutserts, 1, 2, 3, you can see how easy it is to just bolt your panels right to your frame. And that's on there pretty good, and I only have those bolts in snug right now. This is actually going to be the mount for that carbon fiber universal diffuser that I showed you guys earlier, but if you guys were building the whole thing out of aluminum, this would just extend out towards the back of the car, and you'd have 3 solid mounting points for the front of your diffuser. At this point, the front and back mounts are done for the center section. It's bolted into place and it fits great. Again, it's made out of carbon fiber and it's a universal diffuser, but you can make the same shape out of aluminum, as I've done with the side tunnel, which you see being held up with a cardboard box here. Now, I'm going to be using riv nuts or nutserts, whatever you'd like to call them, to also attach this to the bumper, and it's kind of a classic case of do as I say, not as I do. Earlier I mentioned you're better off mounting to the chassis, which is definitely true. But in this case, it's very hard to access behind the bumper without really butchering it and cutting it up. So I'm gonna go right to the bumper on these ones. But again, this is bent out of aluminum and I welded those fins on there. If you guys don't have access to a welder, you're not comfortable welding things like aluminum and you wanna bend them, you can look for a finger press brake to purchase. But if you're not looking to spend that much money, you can also build one. And I built one and I put up some instructions in a do-it-yourself video for that as well. So check out the link at the top right now that's gonna pop up. And you can go there and build your own. So that'll help you manufacture something like this. So with everything now mounted and snugly in place, you can actually start removing it again because it's gonna be time to lay down some paint on these aluminum pieces. And I'm gonna be using this Easy Liner. It's a truck bed liner. Of course, it's black to match my bumper. And hopefully it's gonna be good enough to resist any sort of stone chips or anything that gets kicked up by the tires. After a few quick layers of paint, this is where we're at. The tunnels are installed back into place, center section's in, paint matches our bumper nicely, and I think it looks pretty good. Now, when you guys are doing this yourself, just keep in mind that you don't have to work with aluminum. I did because I have access to a welder, and as I mentioned earlier in the video, I work with CAD programs and I was able to get these things water jet cut. However, for you guys, if you don't have access to these things or you just want to try your hand at it, you might find that ABS plastic is a little bit cheaper. It's easy to find. It already comes in black mostly, and it's easy to cut. You can screw it together and you can come up with some very simple brackets to put together a rear diffuser. You can probably even cut it with a jigsaw, and you might be able to find a plastic cutting blade. And you guys can come up with any pattern and shape you want, from mild to extreme. I hope it works out for you guys, and I hope this inspires you guys to build your own rear diffuser. If you guys have any comments or questions, please leave them down below, and I will definitely try and answer every single one. Thanks again for watching. See you next time.